Alright, I finally got my spark plug wires back. I had ordered the wrong ones. Initially they're for the old socket style distributor, and I'm running the Hyper Spark. So I'm getting the last of the spark plug wires put on here. Again, these are cut to fit spark plug wires, and so I'm just checking to see how much I'm going to need to trim off. I already got pretty much just about everything done here. I'm just building the last wire for cylinder number 8. So I'm just going to test fit it here, just kind of see how it would go on the bracket here. And it's going to go right there, so I'm going to go into this wire. And I'm probably just going to cut a couple inches off. So mark that. I got a Sharpie, so I'm just going to mark it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this wire. I marked it with the Sharpie. It's going to get some wire cutters and cut the whole thing off here, the end. So you kind of see how we do it here. So this is MSD's tool. It's pretty cool. If you're using like an 8mm or 8.5mm cable, it has a little provision in here. So what you do, this is an 8.5mm cable. So what you do is you just slide it in the hole right there. And if you could see at the end there, if you cut it right at the end right there, if you cut it right here, that'll be just enough conductor to fit in there in the connector. So I'll show you. I'm gonna cut it right there. What you do is you just press down your X-Acto knife or blade, whatever you're using, and you twist the cable. Just twist it a couple times. I kind of do it back and forth. So then, once you have the cable cut, you just grab the end there and turn it counterclockwise. That's what the directions say. I'm just kind of explaining this to you. And it'll twist right off. So there you have your conductor. And then so this is going to fit right in there. It's going to saddle right in there. So you see. But the instructions say that you need to bend these 90 degrees before you get that done. So what you're going to want to do basically is, according to the instructions, you're going to want to put this in and then crimp it down before you fasten the conductor down on this section. So I'm going to get some wire cutters here. I'm just going to bend this a little bit. Let's do a little 90. And you'll see why in a minute. So this way you can kind of slide the wire in a little bit there, just till it gets to the end. And then I'm just going to clamp this just so it's fastened there. You can kind of take a look at that. And then MSD provides this tool right here. So what you do is you set it in the tool here, and you put this piece right here goes right over it. Because what this is going to do here, if you look at it, this is going to help make that crimp for this portion right here. So we're going to just push that in there, kind of orient it where it needs to go. Might have to take it out again here because I want it to, I'm just could be anal about stuff. Sometimes I just want it to look perfect. So a little more adjusting there. So you slide it in there, kind of pancake it in. So if you can kind of see how that's all pancaked in there. So I'm going to put it on my vise. You got to be careful not to over tighten it. But we're going to give it a couple of turns here. Not full turns, obviously. Just kind of eyeballing it. I can see how it's crimping up there, so undo it. Just take it out. And you can see now that it's crimped. I mean, you know, nothing's perfect, but I like to try to sense things up a little myself. So you take a look. You can see how it's crimped there. Now the last step you need to do, or the second step I should say, in regards to this, is now we got to clamp this conductor in between there. So I'm just going to make sure it's, you know, pushed down with a screwdriver, and then you'll need needle nose pliers to squeeze it and clamp it together. So there we go. If you take a look, you can see it's all ready to put the boot on now. Now I've done this before, and you know, I've put the boot on, you know, before you put the connector on, and then I'll pull the boot back. And a lot of it just depends on how bulky the connector is at the end there. So this is not true in intrusive. It's not very large. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put some dielectric grease on it, so it can lube it up a little bit so it'll slide in easy, and I'm just going to slide the boot over it. And what I like doing is I like putting dielectric grease on the spark plugs, right on the tips of the spark plugs, and on the boots when you put the spark plug wires on. This way, you know, when you need to pull out the spark plug wire, it'll come off a lot easier than if you didn't have anything on it. And of course, dielectric grease promotes good conductivity. So I'm just greasing it up a little here. I may be putting maybe more than I need, but I had one or two earlier that were a bear. Once I was pushing them through, they didn't want to go in very easy, so I added a little more grease on some of the others, and they slipped in pretty good. So you can see what I'm doing there. And I'm also going to put it again on, this is the distributor side, on the distributor cap. So I'm going to grease this boot up on both sides, and then I'll also put some on the distributor itself, on the terminal. So now I'm just gonna push this in. Just gonna slide in there. And it slid right in. If you could, not sure if you could see that or not, but it slipped right in. So the next thing we need to do, these wires are rated at 40 to 50 ohms a foot. So I'm gonna check the ohms on this. I did that with all the wires already. So again, we want to make sure that we're gonna have good conductivity, that we're getting the maximum performance out of these. So got my multimeter here, got it set for ohms. So if you've never done this before, just kind of give you an idea where to set your multimeter at. So I'm sitting at 126 ohms right now. So that's pretty good. It's very good actually. Let's measure this wire. So basically I'm at 31 inches, 31 and a quarter, but well, actually the conductor itself is back a little bit. So let's just say 31 inches, just for simplicity's sake. So if you do the math, I'm getting actually around 40 ohms per foot for this wire right here. So pretty good. So they were pretty consistent. I was ranging, between 40 and 50 as it's advertised per wire. So that's pretty good. So we're gonna get these put on. So I'm gonna put some dielectric grease on the terminal here on the distributor. I already put some on the boot, but again, it don't hurt to put a little more. And then I'm going to put some on this spark plug itself, on the tip of it. And then some on the boot here. Get it on, get some in there. Okay. These are cool because once you push these in, you can bend them up a little bit, to get, if you're running headers, you can just bend it a little bit to get away from the header. Pretty neat. So these are actually factory replica wire clamps. I think maybe the factory wires maybe around 7 millimeters. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but they're a lot thinner than 8.5. So I searched around. I really couldn't find anything. I wanted to keep the factory routing going and all of that. So it's pretty hot right now. It's probably about 105 degrees. And what I'm doing is I'm using these needle nose pliers just to kind of just work this a little bit, just loosen it a little. And I did it with the other side too. I just moved it just a little bit, just gently, and that allowed me basically by doing that, it just allows me to, I just roll it in, and it goes right in. So I'm pretty happy about that, because I'm trying to go for that street sleeper look. So that's why I kind of went with the black wires, and the factory valve covers. If you notice, the chrome ones aren't on anymore. I mentioned that in another video. All right. Okay, so I got the spark plug wires on. I want you guys to see how it came out. Again, these are the MSD 8.5 millimeter high performance spark plug wires. 40 to 50 ohms per foot. Let me know what you think. Like and comment below. Thank you.